Hey there everyone, Jamie Davidson here with AMZ Insiders here at our AMZ Insiders headquarters. And today I've got something pretty cool to talk about, which is one of the most common questions I get from those that have seen our products and how we sell, which is they always say, how do you get that darn bestseller badge? Especially how do we get it kind of fairly quickly? So I thought I would share, this is a couple pretty cool things here. I'll go through three things that all tie back to the bestseller badge. The first one will be very specific, and the other two will still help support it. So I'll start on the board here, and then I'll show you on screen. But so the first thing we're going to talk about is your category selection. All right, and then so we'll walk through that, because a lot of people, as I'll show you, a lot of people just pick a category. They don't think much about it, but there's actually a strategy you can use around that, and I'm going to go ahead and show that to you. So that's probably the biggest one. The second one I'm going to show you is also around how to improve your search for new keywords. Which again also ties into trying to get that bestseller badge. And the third thing I'll talk about is how another technique that is often not paid much attention to in terms of how do you improve your SEO, or basically your keyword optimization on your page. So those will be the three things. Let's go ahead and jump into those. So again, one, category selection. A lot of people just pick a category. Number two, I'm going to show you a real simple hack, so to speak, on how to find additional keywords. That's a feature in Amazon that some of you may know about, but many people don't. And then the third one is another one that's a supporting feature, another area where a lot of people don't focus on much. But I'm going to go ahead and show you again. It certainly helps your optimization, all tying back to bestseller. All right, so let's get into it. So let's walk through on Amazon and take a look at the bestseller badge and a couple examples on how to look to get it, and also just compare a couple different things to make sure you guys understand, again, how the bestseller badge works, how you can look at it, and then, and most importantly, how you can look to improve your own rankings through category selection for this. So with this, I'm going to pick an example. We're going to do, let's do swimming goggles. All right, swimming goggles here. Swimming goggles is a very popular category, but right here, boom, you see the bestseller badge right here. You see another bestseller badge here, and these are sponsored ads. So again, right out of the gate, the top two here have bestseller badge. You see a bestseller badge here, right? You see this one, this agenda here does not have the bestseller badge. So you may wonder, like, how can these guys be ranked higher and not have the bestseller badge? Or if you're these sellers, why don't they have the bestseller badge, right? So if someone's shopping and they see everything else being equal, right, between all of these categories, you have bestseller, bestseller, Amazon choice, which Amazon chooses, another bestseller, you know, which of these are you going to pick? Are you going to pick this one? A lot of people do. Obviously, it must be a really good, high-quality goggle. But if you don't know any difference and the price is the same, everything else, many people are going to pick the ones with the bestseller badge in any category, right? I mean, that's typical consumer behavior, and I know myself, I certainly do that. If I don't know anything different or don't have something particular in mind, I'll always be attracted to that bestseller badge, and I'll certainly take a hard look at it. So, you know, the first thing is just doing a quick jungle scout here to look at the sales of this category. And right here you can see this category is, for one thing, highly competitive because there's a lot of reviews over there, and there is very high sales. You see $48,000 a month, $45,000, $42,000, right? So these guys are selling about $350,000 up to almost $600,000 a year just in this one product, right? And so it's very competitive. You can tell that based on the number of reviews over here. So that being the case, let's take a look at, knowing that these guys do well, let's look at the difference between the best sellers and not. So the way you can look at it right here is, let's pick this first one. We said that one category does not have the bestseller badge. And if we go down in there, you scroll down here and you get down to the product details. Actually, let me get... All right, so let's jump into the bestseller badge now, and I'll show you, take a look at it, what it is, to make sure I'm sure you've all seen it. But more importantly, I'm going to show you how you actually get it. So as you scroll through, I just entered swim goggles in here as an example. You can see, right away, these are advertised. The first couple are advertised, but right away, in this case, the top two sellers have the bestseller badge right away. So, and no worries if it doesn't have to be Okay, so now I'm going to walk you through the details of the bestseller badge. First, let's take a look at an example. I'm going to pull up swim goggles. You could pick anything, literally, but for demonstration purposes. And again, I'm sure you guys have all seen this, the bestseller badge, right? When you're shopping or with listing your own products. And right away, these first two here are sponsored ones, but this one is actually sponsored as well. But you get down here to the non-sponsored, right away, the number one product is the bestseller. And then you go down to these other ones. You do not have the bestseller badge. This has Amazon Choice. Boom, down here, this has a bestseller badge. And you scroll down here and you see a lot of ones without the bestseller badge at all. So let's take a look at, I'm going to pick an example here and take a look, see what we can find here. So for these category here, these Jogu swimming goggles, if I scroll down, the way you take a look is you come down to the product details and you look at the overall rank. So the overall rank of this product here is 8,956, which is pretty good. Below 10,000 is is a strong ranking. So they're obviously doing well. We saw all of these products do between, on this page one, do between 10,000 a month up to close to 50,000 a month, right? So this one, again, we could jungle scout and take a look at it, but the point is they all do well, and it has 161 customer reviews, which is actually, on the lighter side for this. It's a very competitive category, so a lot of the things have lots of reviews, but they're ranked number 70. They're ranked number 70 they're ranked 8,956 overall in sports and outdoors, but within the subcategory, right, and you can pick this subcategory when you list your product, they are ranked number 70. And what product subcategory are they listed in? They are listed in sports and outdoors, sports and fitness, swimming, and goggles, which makes a lot of sense, right, because they are a goggle. Okay, but let's take a look. The way you get the bestseller badge is you need to be the number one seller in this subcategory. All right, and so let's take a look at the subcategory of goggles. All right, so if we go down here and you come up, and so your goal is to be the number one. So if you weren't, if you were these guys, these Speedo Kid Skoogles, you would take a look and see, to figure out which category, and you take a look at the number. In this case, it would be the number two, because if it wasn't for them, these guys would be number one. But let's take a look at the number two in this category, which is this brand here, and do the same thing. Scroll back down and take a look at the rank. These guys are ranked number 141, which is, you know, a very, very high ranking, right? So they're number 141 in all of sports and outdoors out of every single product, the thousands and thousands and thousands of products, and they're ranked number 141 with actually not that many reviews, but a very, very strong rank. Yet they're still number 2. They don't have the bestseller badge because, right, the number 1 in this category has even a better rank, right? So extremely competitive category. So what you can do is, going back to swim goggles, is you can take a look at this. Let me go back into all of these again. I'm going to take the first one again and just take a look at that one. Again, these are all competitive, so they're all, you know, this is a competitive category, so you know they do well. But again, we've got our advertisements here, and let's go to this Geoji again. That is the bestseller. And let's take a look at them. Are they in the swim goggle subcategory? Got this beautiful imagery from the brand registry. Let's take a look. They are number 160 overall, which is phenomenal. But, you know, they would not be number 1 in the subcategory if they were in the swim goggle category, if the top person ranks better than 160 here, right? So within this, let's take their subcategory. They're ranked number 1, and they're in sports and outdoors, sports and fitness, swimming, training equipment, hand paddles. Wait, this isn't a hand paddle? Interesting. All right, let's take a look at hand paddles. So what do they have to do to be the number 1 ranked bestseller in hand paddles? So let's take a look at the second one. Number 2 actually is a hand paddle, but that's not really that important here. Again, scroll down. Let's take a look at these guys. So they're number 2. They're at number 10,606. So again, that's a respectable ranking. It's a nice, solid ranking. But for that swim goggles to beat that, all they had to do was be 10,605, right? And you would be number 1. That's all the swim goggle has to do, and that's all they have to do to maintain that bestseller badge. And so hopefully you guys see what you're doing there. So, you know, essentially you're looking in categories, right? You're looking at subcategories, and you could go around, look at different products, and find a subcategory where the ranking is not that difficult. All right. So you can take different products here. Again, I'm not sure. Let's take this here, and again, I'm just picking something else here to see. So swim vest. All right, so they're number 1 in swim vests. Okay, they're ranked number 667 in swim vests. So that's pretty tough. So you basically want to keep going through this until you find a subcategory where the number 1 ranked person is fairly high ranked. So you have a chance to outrank them and beat them. So you continue to work through different categories so you find one that you go, okay, like we did on that first one, or as the swim goggles already did, and found that, okay, they were ranked at the time, the number 2, or then the number 1 was ranked, a very high rank, meaning it was not hard to beat, and then you pick that category, right? So in this case here, you know, if you were ranked higher than 667, then yeah, you could pick swim vests for your swim goggles, and you would achieve the bestseller badge. So that's the hack there, is to pick a subcategory where you have an opportunity to be the number 1 in that category. And it doesn't have to be the perfect fit category, and that's what we showed you. Again, those swim goggles, which sell huge every month, are in the swim paddles category. And you'll see that all the time with people that have the bestseller badge, and that's what we do as well. So yeah, the second hack I want to show you, which again helps your ranking in support of getting the bestseller badge, and actually just helps you in sales in total, which is finding key long tail keywords. So if you go ahead into the Amazon search button, and I'm just going to pick an example like let's say you have an item that you think could be a gift for dad, right? So you start typing in, you know that what it does is Amazon populates keywords based on that. So you go gift for dad from daughter, from son, and so forth. So the only thing is all of these keywords start with the word gift for. And so the hack there is if you put a pound sign in, ahead of time, and again, some of you guys may know this, but many of you do not, is you'll see what happens, the pound sign there, that you get all different variations. So birthday gift for dad, wedding gift for dad, best gift for dad, new baby gift for dad, right? So just that simple change using the pound sign whenever you're doing your searches, or add it to your searches, and you'll get all sorts of different variations. And what you're targeting is you want to get high volume keywords, and so you can plug these into other tools as well too. So again, I'll keep that short, but the second one there is just simply add the pound sign there, and you can play around with different keywords, and you get a much better variation as opposed to what everyone else doing of just adding gift for dad. All right, pretty cool, right? All right, so that's that. And then the last one we'll finish up with is going back to our swim goggles. And again, this is stuff that we do, right? This is stuff that we do to get our bestseller badge and to help really drive our sales as well too. So I'm just going to pick this one that is the bestseller, or one of the bestsellers, right? And let's just take a look. There we go. So again, great images, and the key to be, obviously we picked the category, you picked a subcategory that gave you the best chance to get the bestseller. But that being said, you still need to have great rank, right? So you got to be, and these guys have phenomenal rank, but again, there's a lot of categories that are not nearly as competitive as this. So you could be ranked, number 11,000 and be the bestseller, or earn a bestseller badge in a category, because there's lots of categories that are not that competitive. But you want to get good keywords to make sure you're going, including those long tail keywords you just went through. The other area which a lot of people really don't focus on, but we put a lot of emphasis on, is this down right here, these customer questions and answers. So you really want to make sure that you're paying attention to this. And ideally, really what you want to do is make sure that you get some basically keywords involved here. So if someone asks a question here, it goes out, you definitely want to answer. If you know people that have purchased your products, again, you may have, you got to stay within terms of service and everything. But again, if you know people that have bought your products, they will be asked to answer questions, or they could ask questions themselves too. Other people could ask questions. And essentially, what you want to make sure you have down here is you want to make sure you have as much richness here as possible. So these guys have, look at all these questions in here, right? They have even more. So, is it one size fits all? It's asking, does it leak? Does the water leak? Does each goggle come with a case? So goggle and case are in there. And so again, in here, and this isn't, not to say this is even optimized, but again, ideally you want to be conscious of your Q&A section. And again, you can't totally control it, but you can have some influence over it. And also certainly in terms of answering questions, you can have influence over that. And again, if you know people that have purchased your product, then again, you got to make sure you stay in terms of service. It's a bit of a gray area, of course. I kind of compare it, the difference between speeding at times versus quote-unquote committing murder. They're both crimes technically, but one is much different than the other. So, but again, a lot of people do not pay attention to this Q&A section down here, and it's something that we do, which again helps drive your rank. So there you have it. There's our three key tips for the bestseller badge to achieve it. Again, we talked about the category selection. That's the primary one. Again, pick a subcategory that you can compete with and take a look through them all and find a non-competitive subcategory. Get your product in that. That's a huge one. The second one is that the short little hack, just using that pound sign so you can get additional long tail keywords that you would not have thought of, and that does not start with the letters that you're typing in. Again, a short and easy one that you can use anytime. And the third one around optimization is paying attention to your Q&A section and leveraging keywords to the extent that you can in there, but really emphasize, or when there's a question in there, make sure you want that category to be as rich as possible around the Q&A section for your listing. So again, these are three really kind of inside things that we use, and tips and tricks. I've shared that with a few people, but most people do not know these things. They don't pay attention. And again, these are the type of little things that really add up to separate those that you see with these really huge sales and those that you see that struggle more and that are less competitive. So yeah, I hope you love that. And yeah, if you get a chance, you can let me know if that was helpful. And that's it. Until next time.
ways, I can't blame you, no. No. Passionate from miles away, passive with the things you say.